Chapter 6: Blood and Memory. The Hollow Crown does not forgive mercy. Kale returns to Silversong, the wind sharp with ash and omen. Orin walks beside him, flickering more than before. His form is unstable, his voice thinner. The bond between them strains, as if the crown itself resents their defiance. "You spared him," Orin says quietly. Kale nods. "I couldn't become him. But the crown feeds on endings," Orin murmurs. "It wanted blood. It wanted yours." They reach the center of the city, where the hollow crown rests atop a pedestal of bone. It pulses with dark light, veins of memory threading through the air. Kale steps forward, and the relic responds, twisting reality around him. Suddenly, he's back in the palace. Fire everywhere. Orin screaming. Soldiers dragging him away. Kale fights, but the memory is stronger than his will. He watches himself fall, watches Orin die again. "No!" he shouts. Orin's spirit convulses. "It's rewriting us." Kale grabs the relic. The mark of the betrayer flares again, briefly, violently, before vanishing into smoke. The crown retaliates, sending waves of agony through his mind. Orin collapses, his form splintering. "I can't hold on," Orin gasps. Kale cradles him, though his arms pass through air. "Stay with me. I'm not real," Orin whispers. "I'm a memory. A wound. And the crown is closing." Kale's heart breaks. "Then let me end it." Orin's eyes meet his. "You'll lose me." "I already did," Kale says. "But I won't let the world lose you again." Orin smiles, faint and beautiful. "You were always the brave one." Kale rises, facing the hollow crown. It pulses, sensing his resolve. He draws his blade, not to kill, but to sever. With one strike, he shatters the pedestal. The relic screams, a thousand voices crying out as history begins to unravel. Orin's form glows, then dims. "Kale," he whispers. "I'm here. I remember everything." Kale closes his eyes. "So do I." Orin smiles one last time. "Then let me go." And he fades. Kale falls to his knees, surrounded by silence. The hollow crown is broken. The curse is undone. But the boy he loved is gone. Still, something remains. A warmth in his chest. A memory untouched by time. Love. Chapter 7: The Choice. The sky splits open. Kale stands at the heart of Silversong, the hollow crown trembling before him. Crimson light spills across the ruins, painting the stones with blood and memory. The relic pulses, desperate to survive. It offers him visions, Orin alive, smiling, reaching for his hand. "You can have him back," it whispers. "Just let the cycle continue." Kale's grip tightens on his blade. Orin's spirit flickers beside him, barely holding form. His eyes are soft now, no longer filled with rage. Only sorrow. "You don't have to do this," Orin says. "We could stay. In memory. In illusion." Kale shakes his head. "I want you real. Not rewritten. But if you destroy it," Orin whispers, "I'll be gone." Kale's heart fractures. "You were never meant to be a ghost." Orin steps closer. "Then let me choose too." They stand together beneath the bleeding moon, two souls bound by love and loss. Kale lifts the blade. The hollow crown screams, its power unraveling. It shows him every moment they shared, every kiss, every promise, every goodbye. "I remember you," Kale says. "All of you." Orin smiles, radiant and fragile. "Then I'm not afraid." Kale strikes. The hollow crown shatters, releasing a wave of light that floods the city. The relic scream fades into silence. Orin's form glows, then begins to dissolve. Kale reaches for him. "Stay." "I can't," Orin says. "But I'm not leaving empty." He touches Kale's chest. "You loved me. That's enough." Kale's tears fall freely. "I'll never forget." Orin smiles one last time. "You were never the villain." And then he's gone. Kale collapses, surrounded by silence. The hollow crown is dust. The curse is broken. The world begins to heal, but Kale remains, alone in the ruins. Yet something lingers. A warmth in his chest. A memory untouched by time. Love. Chapter 8: The New Dawn. The sun rises over Silversong for the first time in a century. Kale stands atop the palace ruins, wind brushing through his hair, the scent of ash replaced by blooming wildflowers. The hollow crown is gone, its pedestal shattered, its curse broken. The city breathes again. Years pass. Kale refuses the throne at first. He is still the betrayer in many eyes, still the man who walked with ghosts. But the truth spreads of the purge, of the crown's manipulation, of the love that defied history. Survivors begin to speak his name with reverence, not hatred. He accepts the crown only after reshaping it. Not of bone, but of woven silver and moonstone. Not worn, but placed on an altar in remembrance. Kale becomes the first Omega ruler of Verelia, not by bloodline, but by choice. He abolishes the cycle of rebirth, dismantles the Enforcer legions, and opens the palace gates to all who were cast aside. He wears no crown. Only a silver ring carved with Orin's name. Each morning, Kale walks the rebuilt streets of Silversong, greeting children who never knew war. He listens to songs sung in the old tongue, watches dancers move like wind through flame. He smiles, but never forgets. The people call Orin a martyr. Kale calls him beloved. In the palace garden, Kale plants a single tree, the first of many. Beneath it, he buries the remnants of the hollow crown, wrapped in cloth stitched with Orin's final words. "You were never the villain." He speaks to Orin often, not as a ghost, but as a memory. In dreams, he sees him laughing again, radiant and free. Sometimes, he wakes with tears. Sometimes, with peace. The world begins to heal. And Kale, once broken, begins to believe in joy again. Chapter 9: The Memory Garden. Where the hollow crown once stood, Kale plants a garden. The soil is dark, rich with ash and history. He kneels with bare hands, pressing seeds into the earth, each one named after someone lost. Orin. Elira. Thorn. Even the nameless soldiers who died believing a lie. The garden is not for beauty. It is for remembrance. The first bloom is silver. A flower Kale doesn't recognize, its petals shaped like wings. He calls it Orin's grace. It grows quickly, as if the earth itself remembers. Around it, vines twist into symbols once carved into palace walls, sigils of love, sacrifice, and truth. Children visit the garden, asking questions. Kale tells them stories, not of war, but of courage. Of a boy who loved fiercely, who defied fate, who became light. He never calls Orin a ghost. Only a memory. At night, Kale walks the garden alone. The wind carries whispers, soft and familiar. He closes his eyes and hears Orin's laughter, feels the warmth of his hand. Sometimes he speaks aloud. "I'm still here," he says. "Still remembering." The garden becomes sacred. People leave offerings, letters, songs, fragments of dreams. Survivors of the purge come to weep, to forgive, to heal. Kale watches them, heart full and aching. He sees himself in their grief. And he sees Orin in their hope. One evening, Kale dreams. Orin stands beneath the silver tree, smiling. "You kept your promise," he says. Kale nods. "I remembered you as you were." Orin touches his cheek. "Then I'm free." Kale wakes with tears on his face and peace in his chest. The garden grows. And with it, the world begins to change, not through power, but through memory. Kale teaches that history is not a weapon, but a mirror. That love is not possession, but presence. That healing begins when we name what was lost. He walks the garden each morning, touching each bloom, whispering each name. And though Orin is gone, Kale never feels alone. Chapter 10: Claimed and Cherished. Kale writes. Not decrees, not laws, but truth. In ink and memory, he records the real history of Verelia. Not the crown's version, but the one buried beneath silence. He writes of the purge, of the betrayal that never was, of the boy who loved him enough to haunt him back to life. He writes Oren's name first. Not as a prince. Not as a martyr. But as a boy who danced in moonlight, who kissed him beneath silver trees, who whispered, "If I fall, fall with me." The pages fill with stories, of mercy, of sacrifice, of choosing love over vengeance. Cale's words ripple through the kingdom, reaching orphaned children, grieving elders, and those who once called him traitor. They read, and they remember. He titles the book Claimed and Cherished. Because that's what Oren was. Not possessed. Not rewritten. But chosen. Loved. Held in truth. Cale places the final copy in the memory garden, beneath the silver tree. He kneels, pressing his hand to the soil. "I kept my promise," he says. "You live in every word." The wind stirs. A single petal falls, brushing his cheek. He smiles. Years pass. The garden blooms. The city thrives. Cale grows older, but never bitter. He teaches that history is not a weapon, it's a mirror. That love is not control, it's freedom. That healing begins when we name what was lost and choose to remember. One morning, he stands in the garden as the sun rises. The sky is gold. The air is warm. Children laugh nearby, chasing butterflies between the flowers. Cale closes his eyes and breathes. He is no longer haunted. He is whole. And somewhere, in the quiet between heartbeats, he hears Oren's voice, not as a ghost, but as a promise kept. "You were never the villain." Cale smiles. Because he was claimed. And he was cherished.